There's nothing out here that they won't eat once you teach them to eat that. And what is the very best way to teach them to eat every plant growing out here? High density, okay? Higher density, you know, so you got more pounds per acre. And why does that teach them to do that? Because that creates what? Competition. Exactly. So stock density creates competition because they see an animal all around them and they say, if I don't, whatever it is in front of me, it doesn't matter. If I don't bite it, somebody else is going to. But when you got them in much lower density, there's no competition, no pressure whatsoever, and they're highly selective in what they graze. Livestock, it takes biology to build biology. It takes biology to build biology. So you can't build soil biology mechanically or chemically. Both of those are going to destroy soil biology, okay? So only biology builds biology, and here's how that happens. So as my livestock, whether it's cattle or whatever, move across this landscape, okay, and they're grazing. You know, they're coming through here and they're grazing. What are they releasing in their saliva? Microbes. They're releasing microbes that are falling onto the soil every time they take a bite in their saliva. What about their hair coats? Their hair coats are loaded. There's billions of microbes on their hair coat. Right? Every animal is shedding millions of microbes, okay, as they move across this landscape. And microbes are microbes are microbes. So the microbes that they're shedding are communicating with the microbes in the soil. And that's causing the microbes in the soil to rapidly replicate and to grow. So biology builds biology. That's why this is so important. As I move my animals across this landscape and they're stimulating with their hoof action, intense hoof action, and with their shedding of microbes and their manure and urine application, they're stimulating the microbes in the soil, okay? And growing my whole microbial population. Now that's like me having a whole buggy full of fertilizer, right? Now I can fertilize the field. Now those microbes can go to work for me and they can do very powerful things for me, okay? So it takes critical mass. The other thing that I want to do is I actually want to pay attention. You see all these manure pats on the ground, okay? If I observe them, they teach me a lot about what my cattle are doing, what they're eating, and how well they're balancing their diet every day, okay? So if I observe these manure pads, what I want is I want a paddy that has a little bit of height to it. It has the consistency of a thick pancake batter, okay? And it has a little dimple on top. Now, does that sort of match up with what I'm describing? Okay. All right. So when I see a paddy that has that pancake batter consistency, is fairly round in shape and has a dimple on top, that tells me that they're getting a balance in what they're eating between their energy and their protein. They're balancing their diet. Now, what about if I see loose, runny manure pats, all strung out? What does that tell me? Their diet's not good, right? What are they getting too much of? Okay, too much protein, right? So it can either be too highly vegetative grass, too much clover, anything like that, right? Okay. So that tells me they're getting way too much protein, not enough energy or fiber, all right, loose and runny. And what does that cause? A whole series of negative compounding effects, okay? They have too much nitrogen in their body, so that manifests itself as too much circulating ammonia. They produce a lot of uric acid. Their gut microbial profile shifts to an acid-loving profile, and it alters their ability to perform on grass, okay? And if you're grass finishing and you finish them on that, it'll put a nice whang in all the meat out of that carcass. You sure won't. So you never want to finish on highly vegetative, high protein pastures, high lagoon pastures, anything like that. That will produce an off flavor in your beef every single time when you're doing grass-fed beef. Okay? You want more mature pastures with much lower legume content. Critically important for optimum finishing. Now the other type of paddy that you want to observe, or it would be better if you don't observe it, but these are paddies that are very dry. They have multiple distinct stacked layers, almost like you stack one little paddy right on top of the other. Okay? What's the problem there? Okay, not enough protein or energy, right? They're just getting way too much fiber, right? Way too much fiber. It's like all they've been doing is drinking Metamucil all day, right? So way too much fiber, not enough protein or energy at all. So your manure pats will tell you every day where your cattle stand, okay? And what kind of nutrition they're getting every single day. So if you walk out and observe those manure pats every day, you can adjust how you're grazing them and what you're giving them to correct any deficiencies that they may have. If I want to break, how do I break my parasite cycles? How can I graze and manage without having to treat for flies or treat for worms? How can I manage to control my parasites? And I never have to get them up and treat them.
Don't let them be in the same space for more than a few days.
Okay, so frequent movement.
And then don't go back to the same place till the cycle's like at least, what, 45
Okay.
days or something.
So very frequent movement. Again, every day is preferred, and don't come back too soon. But one of the things, if you'll also find if you move every day, your rest periods automatically lengthen, guys. You won't have to worry about that rest rotation period. You'll automatically lengthen that if you're moving them every day like you need to. Okay? So everything sort of works itself out if you're doing this right, and you don't have issues. So what else? What else?
Multi-species helps.
Okay, having multi-species of plants and multi-species of livestock.
Because they eat and then they terminate.
Exactly. So having, running chickens behind cattle and sheep and pigs behind the chickens all helps as well. What else?
The height.
The what?
The height.
Exactly, the height at which you let them graze down, right? Most of your parasites, their larvae are going to be where? Right here, down here, 4 inches and below, right? Okay, why? Why do they not climb up here? Okay, stay away from the sun, right? Because the sun will desiccate them, it'll dry them out and kill them. So they like to stay down here close to the cool, moist soil. So if we let our livestock graze too low like this repeatedly, they're just constantly getting reinfected, okay, reinfested. So they're picking up more larvae, more worms, all of that. So our rule of thumb is we never let our livestock graze below 6 inches. Okay, that's the lowest we ever let them graze.